Hey everyone, welcome to another Etheria restart video, and this is at the start of day 7, and therefore we'll cover what I did on day 5 and 6, which was mostly just farming shells. And I just hit level 40. On day 6 I ended at level 39. Day 5 I believe I ended around level 34, and at level 35 is where I unlocked Niconana, and it's basically where I've been focusing my attention to. I completed the Fabian 120 runs. Whitney I've done 90 out of 120, so I'll come back to this later on to finish it off. I'm not in the big rush. At that point it will just be mostly to complete the achievement. But Niconana, I've done it more than the 120 runs required, and I will show you the run in a second here. Actually, we'll just go into the battle here. Now, this team is now 100% consistent, but it did take me a bit of upgrading on my units to get to this point. Now, the gimmick of this fight is that you need to be faster than the boss to reduce his damage reduction. The easiest way to make sure you're faster is to apply a speed down with a unit. In my case, I'm using Rosa, who applies speed down, and a speed increase on your team, which I'm getting from Lily. Now, there are alternative units to use that are much more accessible, so don't worry, I will go through some of those units. But Niconana is the first boss that starts dropping mythic quality shells, which are the highest quality, and that will last you, pretty much the rest of the game, or at least for now. And yeah, so I'm able to do it in one turn like this, and I put in the Sanya as a safety net. I'll just go back in just to show you the units still. Dina is here because she does defense break. Right, these are her stats, and the shell I'm using. Prior to this, I was using a different shell. I believe it was the Wind Gale. Wind Gale is good on this boss, or in general on Dina, because it increases the duration of her debuffs. And that's great with her defense break. It makes it last for 3 turns instead of 2. So that's a quite useful shell you could use on this. Otherwise, you could also use Star, which is another shell. For that one, it reduces the cooldown of your abilities. So I believe it applies it on the skill that you just before you use the skill. It will make it that particular skill reduces cooldown after you use it, right? And therefore you can cycle through the defense break a lot more quicker. I believe that's how it works. I haven't tested specifically on Dina, but you could try those as some options. Dina's an SR, so I think she's a pretty reasonable character to have at this point. If you don't have her, then you could just run any other support type unit that you have that is suitable on a red fight. Some people do use Kloss instead, even though she is elemental disadvantage. She does have both the speed and defense down, right? So that is a dual purpose you could run on this slot. I will probably go through the journal, like the Animus journals, just to show you the actual units. But the last unit on my team that I haven't talked about is Sanya. I put her in here just for stability. You could run another DPS and just YOLO through it, but if you're struggling to get 100% consistency, then you can just throw Sanya here for some heals, or any other healer that you might have. Linglo or the Red Chiaki is probably fine as well. And just make sure that whoever your DPS is needs to be decently invested into. You should be 6-star by now on your DPS, and the rest of them probably want to be at least 5-star. So I'm now going to talk about some of the alternative options you can use in this fight to help you out. So in Archive, Animus. Now, For some of the more premium options, of course, there's Lily for speed buff, but you can also have, if you have a Mio, she also gives speed buff as well on her skill 3. So you could use that if you have her. A more easier speed buffer that you could use is Marvell. You're more likely to have a Marvell bow now, and he also does a actually sorry, he's a speed down. Sorry, it's this one. Red Kazuyo. She has a speed up and also reduced cooldown on your units. I think this is a pretty good ability. You could stack it with other units that also do something like this and have them just keep spamming the skills. That's something that I haven't tried yet, but I think it would be quite fun to try something like that out once I have enough experience to level up some more units. Now, as I said, speed down, you could use Marvel, right? Or Marvell, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but yeah, he has speed down, and also res down is helpful to help other units land their debuffs, right? So you could use him if you don't have Rosa, and then use a different DPS like Lian, or some of the other DPS options would be like Diting, I don't know however you pronounce his name. Victor is also good too. They're both good single target DPS, and they are SR units. As I said, Lian is a good fallback option. Everyone has a Lian. Kloss is good too. I'm pretty sure for this fight. I haven't tested it, but well, I'm not going to build him anyway. But he's a single target DPSer. Borgne is probably good, and Giada is also a pretty good blue DPS too. Alright, so those are the DPS options that I would recommend. Also, Messiah is just good generic DPS unit. If you have him, you could run him in pretty much every farming dungeon if you want to. As I mentioned, Kloss is this one. Even though she has elemental disadvantage, if you run her with enough accuracy, so basically on her right side, you want to have probably at least 2 accuracy cores. This will give you, it should give you enough accuracy to land the debuff, because the penalty is minus 50% accuracy. It doesn't actually glance like other similar games, as far as I could tell. It just reduces the rate or the accuracy, right? Therefore, even with elemental disadvantage, you can get it to a point where she can reliably debuff the boss. Now, I don't know what the actual amount required is. Unfortunately, you just have to try and see how you go. But she has both defense down and speed down, so she can fulfill 2 of the most important debuff roles on this team. And therefore, you could just omit having Adina and also like Marvell at the same time, and run an extra DPS or something like that instead. Additionally, Tsukiyo is also a speed buffer, attack buffer, right? She can cover a couple of roles, and she also has a where is it? Oh, yeah, this one. She also reduces cooldowns, so that's a nice unit to use as well. Also, Tiamat is a decent DPS, I think. I'm not sure if she does enough, but if you have Lily with Tiamat, I think they are a good combination. And I think those are the main replacements that I would recommend at this point. You could try other stuff, but those are the key ones that I think are worth running. And if you're still struggling to kill it, then at the very least, you should clear Nightmare. Because even though Nightmare's rates won't be as good as Hell, it is better than running the other Shell dungeons, right? You wouldn't bother. Oops, sorry. The controls for this are a little wild on PC. Like Fabian, obviously you're mostly farming for these 2 pieces, right? And if you've already done the 120 runs here, then there's no point farming that, because you could just do Nightmare, Niconana, and still get the Twilight Knight and Black Flag from here. But in addition, you have a chance to get at least White Flag and Artisan, right? Both decent options. White Fang primarily would be for your DPS at this point. You probably no longer even need to farm any Twilight Knights at this point. You only really need to build 1 or 2 maximum, and then you'll just use, or you'll just make White Fangs at this point, and then hand me down the Twilight Knights to any other DPS you build after that. Use those temporarily until you get more White Fangs, and eventually you just scrap Twilight Knight because they'll eventually just become obsolete once you have too many White Fangs. Inferno, just keep in mind this is unlocked at level 50, so it's going to be a little while before we go into that. But yeah, Niconana is the primary farm for over 2 days. Most of my stamina was used on this. I used a little bit of stamina to upgrade my units by farming, like say, GP outposts for some skill ups, and I don't think I did that much investigation, but I did a little bit. And at this point, we're just preparing to be able to farm in the double resource event that will hopefully occur in a few days, but we'll see how long. We'll see when it gets announced. And then I'm making a little bit of progress through the thresholds. Primarily, I've been focusing on Doki Doki. I managed to get the clear on Hell 2, but I don't think it's that consistent. But I'm not too fussed about actually farming it quite yet. I would rather wait until Hell 3. So I'm basically continuously developing my units to hopefully tackle this and get the first clear to get the guaranteed Swift Rush piece, and then hopefully start farming that maybe within the next couple of days. The shells are the primary focus to upgrade my units at the moment. At the moment I need probably another gigabyte, maybe 1 or 2 of these, and maybe another White Fang as well. I think I have 1 good White Fang for my Rosa, and I need 1 for my Remocha ideally, so that she'll be upgraded for the Doki Doki fight. These are my 2 primary DPS that I'm focused on at the moment. Additionally, one thing worth noting is for Lian, I previously said don't reset her, or try not to. At least I think I did. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the video. However, I did. I went ahead and reset her with one of my reconfigures to get the skill ups back, because after thinking about it, the skill ups don't benefit her that much. It increases her turn meter, her multiplier, but it's only 20% extra on already very high multiplier, and the turn meter still is nice, but not really what you're using her for. And then another multiplier, right? Her base multiplier is 260, so going up to 300 didn't seem that great to me. That's why I took it out, and I'm just going to try to see whether she works with just the the basic upgrades, only the ones that give your base stats. And I'm just holding on to the SSR lattices at the moment, just for me to decide where I want to put them in. I want to finish off Romoka's S3. I think that's a good priority to have, but I'm missing the GP outpost materials. For this, I would like to see when we're going to get the GP outpost and hopefully farm it during then, because I don't do enough damage to one-shot the waves anyway, so I don't feel that compelled to get to the final upgrade for this, which is basically makes her S3 like a full AoE, right? Because the splash damage then goes up to 100%. I am also considering putting the skills into Lily, because I think she's a good generic SSR, but I'm just waiting for a little bit longer just to see whether this will definitely push me over the edge on things like Doki Doki to clear them, right? But yeah, we'll have at this point we'll have less than a day to claim the reconfigure. So therefore, I would recommend to reset your Lian if you've already cleared all this, right? So the first part of that Animus Fate is where you need your Lian on certain things, right? I think she doesn't necessarily need to be leveled up for some of these, but at least clearing Fabian Hard, and then deploying it on Fabian Nightmare. Hopefully by this time you've already done that already, and therefore you can just reset your land, get your lattices back, and then hold it, right? If you feel like you want to continue investing into Lian later, you can always reapply it to her then, right? But see how you go without it first, and maybe you don't need to spend the lattices on her, right? And part 2, none of these require her to be leveled up or anything, so you don't have to worry about, you know, from that point on. And that pretty much covers what I've done for the past 2 days. Now the focus now will be to probably try the Sharon fight on the shells, right? And then also try to push Doki Doki to at least Hell 3, and Sharon's here. I'm not sure how hard this will be, but I will test it soon. And yeah, those are the things that I've done for today. Oh, actually, I have to try out this Fnet rally. I did push Ebitrek up to 25, and this is where I'm stuck. Same for Anti-Sync Echoes. So you do those at your own pace, and then yeah, try to clear everything else. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your progression if you're still playing the game, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.